Steve, yes, live here on Diverse FM. They had to get victory over Carlisle, but made it hard for themselves towards the end there, John.
Well, yeah, they, big side, and they got it wide and knocked lots of balls in. And by and large, we dealt with it well. And I thought first half, we played really well. And before the incident, we had 3 or 4 opportunities down there to put it outside. Obviously, a lot more difficult when you go down to 10, but the resilience of the team was first class. And a few scrambles, but Tiles ain't really had to make a save. So that's every credit to the team when you consider that Wilco was off and McNulty wasn't playing. So, no, to be honest, I was really pleased.
Let's take you back to the beginning. 4 changes from the side that drew with York in midweek. 2 of them enforced through the suspension and injury.
Yeah.
2 that we obviously decided to make changes. Just talk to us about your thoughts for the starting 11 today.
Well, we felt that with Mark, that there had been interest, and that can affect people, and we took a step back with that. But he showed, I think, when he came on away at Oxford, that he looked like back to Mark Cullen that we know. Subsequently, he came on the other night and looked like Mark Cullen we know, and today he looked like Mark Cullen that we know. So I think taking him out the firing line was the right thing to do, and if any business had happened, it would have happened. But you need to be sure that people are focused 100%. And I think that he's shown that. So I think from that point of view, that wasn't too difficult a decision to make. Obviously, Matt Robinson's inclusion was midfield player for midfield player. He's not played for a long while, and I thought we'd done remarkably well for someone who hasn't been involved for a while. So that was those 2. Was there one more?
Scott Griffiths in for...
Well, Scott's not been well, so I think his inclusion spoke for itself, really. Al's has done a good job, but to be fair, Scotty, for us, is a top performer, so it's really... that sort of answered itself a little bit.
And I asked you on Tuesday night about whether it was substitutions or formation that made the difference. You went with 4-4-2 today, so was that
we did, but we knew that they would be narrow in midfield, so we could play Drury wide and still almost have 3 in there. Does that make sense? Which enabled us to have the 2. We haven't done a tremendous amount of work. Now we have done some work, so it wasn't something that we would be unfamiliar with. And I'll be honest, both the front people done very well for us. If I'm being honest, I think Jayden was my man of the match. His work rate was incredible. When we had to get it up to him late in the game, he fought hard to keep possession of it. I thought he was terrific today. But you win games in all sorts of ways, and as I say, the first half performance was good. Well, to the sending off was good, because possibly 2 or 3 have flashed across their box in the second half, let alone the first half. Then we've had to battle on. It's not easy. Playing with 10 men, it's difficult, but we had some good patches to play with 10 men. But their style of play, which I don't knock at all. They're a big side and they just want to cross from out there and get regains. There's nothing wrong with that, but I thought that we'd done very well with that. I wanted to play 4-3-2, and we started playing 4-3-2 for a while, but just their fullbacks getting up and hitting them long diagonals into the box. And once we sort of come to terms with that, I thought it was a bit more regimented. I thought we had people in the right holes. You're never going to take into account it's a great cross and someone gets a great leap. But in fairness to the back 4, particularly, you expect the centre halves to go and head it, but particularly the 2 fullbacks. We got caught the other night, Michael, on a ball from in there. Well, I think he learnt today, because I thought he was very good in those back post areas. Scott's always good in those areas.
Mark Cullen, you mentioned there, he seemed to thrive on having Stockley alongside him today, and the goal, a great strike, but the whole work rate and the 2 combined superbly, didn't they?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Was really, really pleased. To say Mark, everyone knows what I think of Mark, so we're glad that this is now a matter concluded.
You've mentioned there, obviously during the transfer window there was interest in him. Just to clarify, either way, nobody was really interested in doing the deal, or what was the situation?
There were, people asking questions, but in terms of valuation, nowhere near what we would value.
And Mark wasn't looking to leave anyway.
Mark never ever spoke to us about that, so that was never a consideration from his point of view. But if he hears things, the speculation can unsettle you. Of course it can, either way. But I think we made it clear that we weren't looking to sell Mark Cullen. The only thing you can do, someone comes in and makes it like an offer that's ridiculous. We would all have to listen. But we didn't actively encourage any interest in Mark.
You've mentioned the sending off in the second half. Luke Wilkinson, as far as you're concerned, no point in trying to appeal that one, last man?
From what I saw, it looked like that, but it's always easier with a DVD, isn't it? But from what I saw, I've got no complaints. In fairness to him, we started to come up as a unit. They had a couple of people in an offside position, and I think Robbo lost the ball in front of him, and it put him in that no man's land, really. But it's happened, nothing we can do about it.
Took one for the team in effect.
No, I think so, yeah.
It could have gone the other way. Now, even more disappointing and frustrating, it's come at a time after the ban for Steve McNulty was upheld by the FA. And, when we spoke to you Tuesday, you didn't think it was a red card. Seeing it back on the DVD, and your thoughts on that not being, rescinded?
There was 2 sendings offs in that game. There was worse tackles today, which not including the sending off. There was worse tackles today than those 2 sending offs. It wasn't a unanimous decision. It was a majority decision, and I've got to be honest. I'm shocked that it wasn't sort of rescinded. I'm really shocked.
And that puts you in the plan now that 2 games that you'll be without Luke, because he's already been sent off as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, that's why we've got 4 centre halves. They defended very well today in the second half, and have to do it for the next 2 games.
And just finally, half time, we saw young Cameron McGeehan back out on the pitch, signed until the end of the season, we believe.
Yeah, he has, but I think that we'll be working to get something in place to extend to make that permanent. Yeah.
I mean, and just a word on him coming back. The Luton fans know what he's like. He was here with Cambridge recently. He's impressed in the cup games against Manchester United, and great to have him on board.
It is. I mean, it's something we've been trying to do, something we've worked hard to do. I've done my bit, and in fairness to the club, to Gary Sweet, they've worked really, really hard to try and do the transfer. And it's a way that I'm trying to go, by Pelly, by Michael Harriman, by Luke Wilkinson, and now by Cameron McGeehan, by Mark Cullen. They're all of an age that I want to get to, but I can't do that overnight. But as and when we identify them, that's what we're going to try and do. So we're on our way to do that.
Very positive that he's in for the rest of the season at least, but you're hopeful that it could be more permanent as well.
I'm sure that we'll work that out. Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you very
Good.
much, John.
Simon, thanks very much.
Cheers.
Cheers.